I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but when has it ever been goals to be pregnant by a man and multiple other women are pregnant too? Money really is the root of all evil, because why are the pick-me's in the comments saying goals? You upgraded, this is such a good look. Don't get me wrong, I love her too, love her music, think she's fun, but...
One of your brothers texted me a screenshot while I was going about my business, and I read this. Congratulations, Stefon Diggs is the father of Instagram beauty Ian Loparis' baby girl, according to a paternity test. Diggs and his girlfriend, rapper Cardi B, are also expecting a child. He is currently expecting 4 children from 4 separate ladies. Nothing is more unique than genuine love. However, what's truly fascinating is that many women are beginning to realize that something is Cardi B's relationship with Stefon Diggs is seriously flawed.
Baby, there's no nicer way to say this. He don't like you. It's a new babe popping up with a baby every other day. I mean, that's enough right there. The energy during the interview was mad weird. Stefon is literally Offset in rearranged letters. The same person, different font. I hate to say it. Cardi, you're funny and you're probably a good woman, but the men you choose and your self-worth, bottom of the barrel. Bottom of the barrel. You literally divorced your husband for cheating. And here he is. Baby just coming out the wazoo.
I have a question for you men who actually believe this. Do you want us all to be inbred? I feel like y'all want us to be inbred because it doesn't make sense. If only like a small percentage of men were getting all the women, like we would all be more directly related, right?
This woman claims that Stefon Diggs is not very fond of Cardi B women habit. You know, sensation that something is off. She is not the only one. Who has said it? Was she simply attempting to move on from Offset and needed to hit the skins with someone else? Speaking of Offset, he is attempting to use the grapevine to obtain half of Cardi B's assets in this settlement. No, I want everything because I helped you to build your brand. He responded when she gave him $10 million. If I ever saw one, it would be a bandit. Nevertheless, let's return to her and Stefon. Cardi B is currently pregnant, and Stefon Diggs is going about his business. On the other hand, when you look at Offset, you see a man that all these women were so thrilled about. You know, in terms of her no longer having to deal with him. You know, Cardi B deserves better, which is why, and many ladies discuss this topic. They consistently state that, first and foremost, they are not selling for less. Secondly, they require everything that a guy can possess. Thirdly, it goes without saying that all of these requests are being made. This brings us to the primary points of contention in the manifest. For those of you men who genuinely think this, I have a question. Would you like us all to be inbred? It just doesn't make sense. And I feel like you guys want us to be inbred. If only a tiny proportion of guys were obtaining every woman, as if we were all more closely related. We've been discussing the 8020 rule for the past 10 years. So let's get right to it. Are 20% of males desired by 80% of women? We would all be biologically identical if this were true. Which is why he thinks it is just untrue. Because it simply doesn't happen that way. 80% of women obviously don't desire 20% of the top men, so this is just garbage. However, it appears that this is the case when you consider Cardi B's circumstances. For heaven's sake, Cardi B is constantly expressing her yearning for tranquility. She must be cherished. She must be treated with dignity. You can tell that her problems with Offset extended beyond simple infidelity. To be fair, they had their little threesomes with other women and other such things. However, she doesn't mind if Stefon Diggs goes out and fathers other kids. Is it true that Cardi B considers Stefon Diggs to be in the top 20%, but not Offset? Yes, I would have to say. Let me return to the 8020 rule. The mere fact that 80% of women desire 20% of men does not guarantee that they will have them. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I wanted to attend Stanford University as well, but that didn't guarantee it, did it? Once more, just because you're a woman and you want a wealthy man doesn't guarantee that you'll win his loyalty. the rubber meets the road at this point. Many women, including Cardi B, may be in a relationship with someone who liked her. The issue is that, as one woman stated, Cardi B chooses trash men and has poor judgment in men. You are truly what you eat, which is why Cardi B chooses trash dudes. This is not to argue that Cardi B is a bad person, but it is evident that she shares Stefon Diggs' views. We are aware of this because she dealt with Offset before to Stefon Diggs. In essence, she is repeatedly attracting the same man, and it will be someone else if it's not Stefon Diggs. This whole notion that she ought to be doing better, that is, that she ought to find someone who likes her. Who will deal with Cardi B then? Who genuinely stands to lose? No one, really. Stefon Diggs will take care of her. You know, he won't always be there to look after her children. She is certainly aware of that. In actuality, she is so drawn to him that she doesn't need him to do that. All she wants is that dot. I now believe that she is more drawn to Stefon Diggs than Offset. This will also teach many guys that, as the spouse, you may have to put in a lot more work. Additionally, she will provide a lot of leeway to the guy to whom she is truly attracted. You know what? It doesn't even truly matter. When I broke up with an ex-girlfriend or tried to talk to a woman who wanted to offer her love or loyalty to a guy who had less or was doing less for her, I used to have the same problem. It would be personal to me. It's obvious that Stefon Diggs receives nothing from Cardi B, so don't take it personally. It is clear that he has no regard for her. Cardi B just shown to the entire market that she is unworthy of being taken seriously. And when they act in this way, ladies don't comprehend. They aren't actually improving their situation. Men generally think, oh, okay, you were married, you got pregnant by a guy. That guy doesn't take you seriously while you're married, and he got other women pregnant while you were still with him. It doesn't matter if we aren't that guy or that guy on the same level. Men will think you're not serious, you know? Guess what will happen if you decide to end your relationship with him and then try to make things different or act as though you suddenly deserve to be treated like a queen? Music, this is all you will receive. You will only receive that. Because that's what you put out there. You're going to get a lot of cheek clapping. It's also said that water finds its own level. And why ladies want so much more for Cardi B is beyond me. They believe she is settling for less. No, sweetheart. Cardi B won't accept anything less. Cardi B is content with her current value. And once more, I want to talk about how many men get offended over things like this because, you know, we do put effort into the woman we like and want to be with and all that. And when you realize that your girlfriend is actually 30 or older than everyone else, it hurts. Here's the truth though. Bro, you overpaid. Everybody overpays. We constantly have to pay for someone, and I'm referring to time, effort, money. And a degree of loyalty or complete loyalty, that another. Man doesn't have to pay for. Please understand that's not a personal matter. It's just the way things are. You'll discover that many women miscalculate or overestimate their leverage. By that, what do I mean? I don't mean to be cruel, but this is what I discovered about women. In the dating market, women frequently underestimate their true worth. They thus think that because they had a problem with another guy, the next guy is, not going to go through it anymore. And the next person has to give them more. In the end, they miscalculate their emotions as well as their leverage. And they wind up in a worse circumstance, which they want to convince themselves is better. But in reality, what they're doing is decreasing their market value to other men or other specific men. And I'll explain to you exactly what transpired with Cardi B while she was out there dealing with Offset. Cursing a guy out, yelling at him, claiming that he was this, realizing that he was that, and so on. She was acting in this manner. In all honesty, I think the issue with her is that males who could have been interested in dealing with her at all said, "Nah, I just can't deal with this. I'm not going to need this." Because of the way she was acting, she was essentially devaluing herself. As a result, anyone who truly cared about her said, "I'm going to pass." And what they did was pass. Once more, you were out there simply expressing yourself, but your value was diminished by your cash outs. Other men in the market then said, "Look, this is what we can do. You can't find another rapper, therefore you still want to be at this level. I'm serious about you. This guy has already given you 3 children. You're still wed. What we can do now is as follows. You like me, so you can be a side girl to me, right? I mean, I'm Stefon. Without a doubt, I won't alter my behavior for you. You want me just as much as all these girls do. Therefore, if you want to work with me, you must join me and allow me to go through them. Because you were with Offset and he had a gambling issue. You don't really deserve any more. No one else wants to put up with your ass the way you've been spending so much time on the internet. But I'll put up with you. And they'll constantly inform you that they won't handle that. They are deserving of better. However, the issue is that things never get better. Because you truly need to improve in order to perform better. You ultimately pay a price. When you don't make any attempt to maintain your femininity, the final cost is that you receive a demotion. You become one of many instead of number one. You can tell yourself all day that you deserve better. But all you are is a part-time booty clapper on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. But guess what happens if you don't want to improve or change? You truly don't merit anymore. And I am aware that many women find that difficult to handle. I understand. It's not a pleasant thing to say, but there is nothing you can do about the situation as it is. You would alter your behavior if you wished to take action. However, you don't alter your conduct. Consequently, you will have to bear the consequences. Every human being on the planet today must put in more effort if they want more. You wouldn't have been with Offset in the first place if you could just give someone whatever you want and expect to receive more. Congratulations, Cardia. You will always be a side chick. You are now in a booty clappish situation instead of being